Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are all the way from Arkansas? Wow. Are y'all on, forgive my ignorance, what time zone are y'all on? And I have a question. So we just hit the live button because we go live at 9 a.m. And it is exactly 9 a.m. But could you see us in the background when you were here early and you said good morning from Arkansas? I'm just wondering because sometimes we do silly stuff that we're not prepared for live yet. Mm, coffee is hot and it is good. Anyways, so good morning. Wow. It is a rainy day today here in the Smoky Mountains. I'm hoping, do you see some cloud break?
Nope. Well, one little spot, but
Anyways, if you're just joining us for the very first time, we apologize in advance. This is not scripted. We're not actors, even though we've been on TV. Um, yeah, we don't know how to act and we don't really talk about what we're going to talk about. We just have a day once a week that we have coffee with y'all with like-minded people and chit chat about life. That's it.
right.
That's what this channel is.
That's it.
So you chime in, ask questions, give advice, ask for prayer requests, share your faith, your struggles, whatever. And that's what we do every week. No bells, no whistles. Just a rooster crowing in the background.
Yeah, we got plenty of those.
We have to do something about that.
What?
Oh, I didn't finish my spiel. So we're two members of the family. That's not a smoker's cough. I've been sick, y'all. That moved here from the beach of South Carolina to East Tennessee. We moved from the city to off-grid in the mountains, and here we are. Good morning. Oh, everybody's here this morning. Good morning, y'all. I almost didn't make it. I've been sick as a dog since Tuesday, and I've been taking some pills that I think are helping. My friend sent me, so I was very thankful for those. What?
She's been taking pills.
Horse pills.
Oh man. Thank goodness for the pill, eh?
I reckon. Anyhow, no, I am thankful for it. So I could feel
I
better
know.
and function.
It came a long way.
Because yesterday it felt like I swallowed a jar of razor blades.
Mm.
And I still got that icky cough and
Yeah.
it's humid and rainy and it doesn't help. But anyhow, you don't even know. I didn't tell you what we're going to talk about today.
What are we going to talk about?
Well, last week we said we were going to talk about the fire safety. Then life happened. So now we're not going to talk about the fire safety. One of these days we'll plan to actually cover a topic that we say we're going to cover. See, it's spontaneous. It's life. You can't plan it. It just happens.
You got to go with what you feel.
You got to go with what the Lord puts on your heart or what you got going on in your life. And this week, we're going to discuss good fences make good neighbors.
Okay.
Y'all hear that proverb? Remember that? Hang on. I know there's something that goes to it. You keep talking, Timmy.
Good fences make good neighbors.
Yeah. Good. Well, you can't look at what I'm talking about.
Establish your boundaries.
So the proverb goes, good fences make good neighbors. It's a proverb that means it's easier to maintain good relationships when people respect each other's privacy and don't intrude on each other's land. The phrase also means that people can get along if they mind their own business and avoid being intrusive or gossipy. I think that was one of our moving factors for coming here.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Well, yeah, we lived in
Don't forget, you got
an HOA, and our neighbors were really close, and
in a good way and in a bad way, both. We had some wonderful neighbors in our HOA.
we did, yeah.
That became family,
But
and then we had some bad ones.
our very the neighbors that lived right beside us. I think we were blessed for years because no one was ever there.
It was a vacation home, and they never came down, and it was great because it's like
And
We
it
didn't
was
have a
only like
neighbor.
a week, or two out of the summer, or
Now, which side are you talking about? Al side or the other side?
both sides.
Oh, okay.
Um,
But
so
your
it was,
neighbors affect your quality of
yeah.
life. Huge, huge impact on your quality of life. You've joined any of these homesteading groups or anything like that, you will see some major issues with neighbors, from shooting at your animals to taking your stuff to going on your land and hunting because they've always gone on your land, but now that you have it, they expect you to do, the same thing. And we've had our little fair share of incidences here since we moved here for that same reason. This land was vacant for a really long time, and the neighbors used to own it. And so, therefore, you feel ownership and a little possessive over property or things that you're used to taking care of for years and years.
Well, I mean, I think it's a mind thing that it's different. I mean, even though we own it, we pay the taxes on it now, and
It's in our
they
name.
were born and raised here and lived on the land.
They feel entitled.
And, you know,
We're used to, anyways.
I don't know how I would feel. I
Good
think
morning, honey.
I would try to move on, you know. Um, that would be like going back to our old
Well, now
property.
when we moved, it was different because when we moved, God allowed us to sever all ties. Otherwise, I don't think I would have been able to do it
Put that
because
behind us.
our kids' handprints were in the concrete
Yeah.
when we built every inch of that house. And had it not ended the way it did, I think I'd be wanting to go back. I would have
Yeah.
wanted to go back a lot.
Yeah.
Because we've struggled here. But when you move, like say if you move from the city in HOA like we did, where you literally have neighbors on top of neighbors, like our driveway shared their driveway, or our property line, there was a fence. We did have it fenced in from the very road to the very back, and that fence really helped us keep our sanity. And then we had a gate that went across that we locked, and everybody knew that gate was closed.
Yeah.
Our doors were closed. But most of the time the gate was open and everybody just popped on in. We had neighbors that would just walk in the house, and sit down and have a cup of coffee. No forewarning, no knocking. They just did it. And that was when we moved out here. That was a huge learning curve because it was so quiet. We went from people texting us when we went and got the mail, going, "Hey, what you doing? I see you're getting the mail." I mean, or you turn your light on at 6 and they call you, go, "Hey, I see you're up." I'm like, okay. To not hearing a stitch, nobody mean at all. And if you do hear a limb crack, you freak out because somebody's on your property that shouldn't be. So there's been a night and day difference.
Yeah, it has been.
And what we're going to talk about this morning, though, we've kind of been on both sides of this token, and I can see where people get a little indignant. Is that the word for it? So here's our situation. We have roughly 47 acres and mountainous. Maybe 2% of that is flat, maybe 3.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know how to do the percentage, but it's a very, very, very small percentage. The rest of it's like this, or like this, or like this. It's very steep, rough terrain. We did not pick this piece of land for pasture or for running or for playing frisbee. It's definitely mountainous. And so when we first moved here, we got a bunch of livestock, but we never had livestock guardian dogs because we never needed them in the city. Our biggest threat to our critters was a coon, possum, and a neighbor. That was it. And so when we moved here, um, we were really flowing in eggs. We had turkeys, we had ducks, we had chickens, we had guineas, we had the whole gamut. And We went out for our daughter's 18th birthday and we came home and everything was dead. Heads were all over, body parts, blood, guts. It was, and they just kept on attacking until we had nothing left. And it was very traumatic and it was a huge, huge loss for us. And not only was it, things that we invested our heart and soul in, but it was also our food source was gone. And we realized where we were at. We were sitting ducks. And we decided, no pun intended, because we were in a valley, we're in a holler. And and then everything here is trying to kill us or eat something that we're growing. The crows, the hawks, the bugs, the bears, the coyotes, the bobcats, the snakes. Um, they all come here to try to
They
kill
have
us.
quite a variety here.
Everything's here is trying to kill you, even the plants. You don't believe that one? Ask Timmy. He's
Yeah, oh yeah.
probably wish he was dead a couple times.
Right down to that little black, fuzzy looking worm. You ever grab a hold of one of
I
those,
think that was a caterpillar,
it'll
baby.
light you on fire, man.
So the chiggers, the no seeing, everything's trying to kill you here. So anyhow, we realized we need to get livestock guardian dogs, and we did some research. We knew we had a lot of land. We knew that no matter how much land you get, they take more, and they'll go up to miles and miles. Because with our breed, they meet the predator. They don't wait for the predator to come to you. So our dogs are pack, and you have to have a pack. They go out and hunt whatever's going to come and hunt our critters or harm our family. And they'll bring us home skulls, spines, half eaten bodies. Um, and since they've started taking over and protecting us, we haven't had to worry about man nor beast, which is good too, because we've had human predators on our land. Matter of fact, at one time they tried to kidnap our two dogs when we just had two. Had we had the five then, they wouldn't have done it. But we had Sadie, who is a rescue and is arthritic, and then we had Aslan, who was too much of a puppy. And we had strangers that trespassed on our land and held them down. And until I greeted them kindly, then they let our dogs go. But that said, we have neighbors that live about a mile or so down the road, might be a little bit further than that. But our back property, they have 150 acres that touches ours. And then we have 400 protected acres of wildlife behind us.
Mm-hmm.
And that owner is in the doctor in Florida. He's never here. Then you have the peak of the mountain, and then you have mountain on the backside, and you can take a they took a drone up when we were filming, and you couldn't see a house as far as you could see in any direction.
Yeah.
For where we live. So, and we have people's hunting dogs come on our property a lot, and they've got those tracking collars and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they're normally just worn out and want some food and water, and they're exhausted. Then the owners come and track them down. That's totally legal. You can't do nothing to them, no matter what they do, because they're hunting dogs. But ours aren't hunting dogs. Well, they are hunting dogs. They hunt.
In a sense, yeah.
Yeah, they hunt the coyotes all the time. They rip them apart and then bring us their skulls. But anyhow, so at the back of this 150 acres, these people, the neighbors down about a mile down the road, our points touch that comes together at some point in time in the back of the property. And our dog, they have a pond at the very back, and our dogs like to go in their pond. And then they come home and they're covered in mud and water. And, anyways, these people called animal control on us, and we can get mad all day. It's like these animals are protecting their land too. These animals aren't causing no harm. They don't tear nothing up. We live in God's country. We got other people's dogs going on our property all the time. I mean, this is the country. This is the sticks. You go down the road, and 9 times out of 10, you got to slow down because there's some old hound dog laying in the middle of the road that won't get up.
Or a goat.
Or goat. We've seen that too. And that's just country living. You can argue that all day, but the law is the law of that law. And the Bible tells us to respect the law of the land. and we can be indignant and we can say, get mad. How dare they? But at the end of the day, it's their land. Their land names on their deed, and they pay their taxes, and we pay ours. So therefore, we need to figure out how to fence in 47 acres and 5 Great Pyrenees dogs.
Yay.
So you can take over from there.
So
Vicky.
yeah, it's been quite
Week.
a week. I'm trying to process all of this and um figure out where to start.
And if y'all start saying any advice that I didn't ask for, I might give you a come to Jesus meeting. The shot collars don't work. We can't fence in a small section. Great Pyrenees will climb a 6, 7, 10 foot fence if they wanted to. They have been trained to protect their livestock. But everybody's like, oh, put them in the gate with the chickens and stuff. That's not how it works with them. And they are Great Pyrenees. They hunt. They protect their livestock in a different way. We've put them on long leashes, and they've chewed through them. We've done it. We've done it. We haven't not tried to keep them on our land. And if you're in any of the groups, they said that if a Great Pyrenees wants to get away, they'll get away. They're escape artists. So we're going to do we're going down the list of things that we can do because we're not getting rid of them. That's not an option. We really don't want to go to jail. That's wouldn't be a great option. And so we're going to try to manage this the best that we can.
Yeah, it's I know we had talked about trying to fence in our land,
A
but
lot.
and I don't even know if that's possible to try to keep our dogs on our land. If we do that,
What are you talking about, Willis? That is our
I
solution.
know, but there's no guarantee. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well,
There's
we're
still
not
no
going to talk
guarantee.
negative. You ain't going to put that out there.
But you know, we're gonna do our best,
I'm going
and
to smack him upside the head.
it's
Being negative.
rough terrain. There's the this
It's
needs to be
challenging for him.
done now, and it's summer basically.
You know
Here we
how,
are.
yeah, but you know how we talked about in the past about being flexible. You can tell God your plans, but being a homesteader, especially out here, you have to be flexible and be able to willing to change your plans.
Yeah, this is it.
This is it.
This is it.
Because Timmy was in full blown. We were moving our solar to the roof of our house, and then we were going to start the addition build at Ashland and Gavin's because they want to add on to their house so they could have little Gavin and Ashlands running around. And that was the plan. And then we had a visit, and that changed everything. I said, everything changes right now
Yeah.
because this is what we need to do. And it is summer. And we have chiggers and ticks and snakes and poison ivy and poison sumac and oh my stars.
Everything's
Steep
in
terrain.
bloom.
But it's important, and we've needed to do this since we moved here. Really, we've needed a fence in our land. And there's ways that you can fence it in that aren't like I think I even have an article about that, about natural fences, like using Osage orange trees, if that's how you want to say it, that's how I say it. Because they were used back in the day for hedgerows because they've got thorns like this. They grow real fast. They're very strong wood. And you could do natural barriers. Our dogs, though, they would just look at it and laugh. But I'll let her out.
They'll go right through it.
Yeah, there we go, right through it. So, and we cannot afford 6 foot stockade fence for 47 acres. Heck, I can't even afford to put that around our house. Um, you could use trees, but now we're talking just about Timmy doing this by himself, theoretically. Gavin's going to help him on its days off, but that's it. And you ain't going to see Amber's behind going up this side of these mountains. Not that I don't want to be there,
Oh, I'm sure you'd want to be right there in the middle of it.
but there's a couple factors. I have to work. Someone's got to pay for
Somebody,
the barbed wire. My knee wouldn't let me from knee replacement. And I think I roll better than crawl. Rolling it down.
yeah, I just, we've kind of gotten started on it, and we are getting the feel of it. But
We're
yeah,
doing 4 strands, 2 barbed, 2 hot.
I don't even know if I'm not gonna say what you think I'm gonna
Okay.
say. That the wire might need to be a little bit closer together. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're not sure 4 strands will work.
Yeah, we might have to go with 5 strands. Not saying that all of them have to be live, but you know,
2 live, 2 barbed, right?
yeah, it just that puts a pretty good space in between.
Then do 3 live,
Uh,
2 barbed.
yeah, so we'll just see.
It's a chore. But in the end, when it's all done, and it'll be done by maintenance, and we'll be broke, than we're broke now, um, it will help in several aspects. Not only will it keep our dogs in, but it will keep
Mm.
things out. That's important to us too, because this is the thing. Since we moved here, we've had several cases where it was a sense of urgency to us to fence in our property. And every single time we get really upset, we get really protective, we get really, can't remember other words for it, but we feel violated because somebody or something has come on the land that we worked so hard for and either taken from us or made us feel unsafe or, just violated our privacy. And we're like, we got to fence this in today. And then life happens and we don't do it. And that's pretty much how it's gone on this little, roller coaster for 6 years. I mean, from, was it not that long ago? The county came and poisoned our water. That was a huge one. And that's a different story.
Yeah, I think we're in the end of at the end of the roller coaster ride.
As far as deciding to do it, not doing it,
Yeah,
deciding doing it, not doing it.
we've gotten started, and it's going to be something that it's not going to happen in a day, but it will happen eventually.
Well, we're going to be working on it every day until it does.
Yes.
And it's hard to find that balance of things that have to be done right now and other things that have to be done right now. And it never fails. Timmy always says, I know I should have gotten to this sooner. I mean, it's not like you sit around doing nothing, watching cable. We ain't even got cable. But you know how it is. You have something that's really important and you start it and then squirrel. And then you have something else important that comes up and you start it and squirrel.
Yeah.
And it's hard getting all your squirrels in a bunch.
What for them squirrels?
We'd be left with a bunch of nuts. Oh, but yeah, it's important. I think even to the days coming, I think the Lord has tried to show us several times that we needed to fence in and make boundaries of our land. Um, and matter of fact, most recently, well, maybe it was 3 months ago, one of our neighbors is sick and it's not good. And we do care about him as a person, as a brother, as a neighbor. We're not really close, but we care about him. And he's, living on shortened time compared to someone that's healthy. And has family members that once he passes, all that his land's going to all these people, descendants. And it would probably be a different situation than it is now with him. That's what happens too when somebody passes away and leaves their land to their kids or grandkids or whatever. And now you got new neighbors all of a sudden. And they feel, possessive because they just inherited their daddy's land or their granddaddy's land. And they wanted to have all these ideas for it. And you feel, you know, possessive of your land because you had this agreement with a previous neighbor that you might not have with a new inheritant, people that have just taken it over. So it's good if you have boundaries before that you even have to cross that road, cross that bridge.
Hmm.
I'm saying the wrong things, but
Yeah,
you get it.
I understand.
And when we found this out, you were like, we need to get that fence up. That was the most recent urge of we need to get this fence up. Now when you have, a local official come and say, you need to get the fence up. Um, it's time. So there we go. But I also think that that fence, just like moving here, instead of being in Polly's during the last 3.5, 4 years, there's a reason why we need to have this fence up. And we might not know it. It might not have nothing to do with our dogs in that pond.
Right.
You know, it might have to do with the coming days where people know you got something, they want it, and they want to come and take it.
Yeah, I mean, especially what's going on in the world. You have livestock and,
Resources,
chickens and hogs and,
power, electric.
everything basically. So
I gotta blow my nose. I'll be
I
back.
think it's, you know, we're moving in the right direction. It's just going to be tough. And, but I think it's all a part of, um, trying to establish your homestead. And I mean, I've put up the fences for the animals and taken them down and moved them and, rotated them. And it's no different than that. It's just once I put this one up, it's done. So unless a tree falls on it and then I have
Would
to
you
go out and fix
stop?
it. But
Mr. Negative Nelly
that's,
all the time. But that's the thing too. I mean, they're building like crazy around here, y'all. You keep thinking, oh, it's like I'd like to sell my house in the city, move out to the country. You might go to a place that looks like it's country, but ain't too long. These little city slickers come in and take down all the trees and build like vacation homes
well,
and stuff. It's crazy.
well, yeah. And
Plus all the millions of immigrants that are coming in. Where are they going to put all them people?
a perfect example of that is, we know some folks that, they have their well and now they can't get water out of their well like they used to because they put so many down and they've lowered
The aquifer is starting to dry
the
up.
water table.
Hmm.
And so it's, everything around you affects you. And
Your neighbors are a big one, though.
yeah,
A quality neighbor is priceless. And not only as just peace of mind, but even when it comes to, the emergency case scenarios, excuse me, homesteading, having your circle. We've talked about that several times on here. When if you're talking about prepping and stuff and things that are that could go south, you need to pull your neighborhood, your neighbors into your network, so you guys can protect each other. And you can. That ain't gonna happen with us. We're on our own with that one. That ain't gonna happen with us here. But that is an ideal situation when you can network with your neighbors that are closest to you for those types of situations. That ain't gonna happen here. Um, I don't see in any case scenario that would happen. But anyways, so too, but what I was talking about them developing is this wildlife is start going to come in because they're getting rid of their food sources. We've seen it. You guys have seen it all over. I mean, they start building all these cabins and stuff and disturbing where the black bears forage and where the coyotes hunt and where the deer are. And then they start moving in. And so we don't have any protective barrier. We could only have so many dogs. It's going to be hard for them to continue to protect this land. And so I think this electric fence will help evade some intruders that will be seeking refuge to try to find new food sources.
yeah,
That's all you guys, yeah?
yeah. Yeah. We want to keep what's in and what's out. That's
Yep. And I think it's important no matter where you live. It's an expense that I wish we would have tackled in the very beginning when we had money. Because now we're having to be creative and resourceful. Thankfully, we have 47 acres of trees. So We could use those for T-post.
Yeah, those are definitely gonna be
Sorry.
added in.
Do you guys have any experiences with your neighbors that where a fence made it better or worse? I can't imagine a fence making it worse. Yeah, I can. Because if you put it too close to the line and they complain and they don't like it and you block their airflow and blah blah blah. We heard about that back in Polly's. But our fence was phenomenal. One of the fences that we did, kind of like a living fence, we had lattice that we took and we turned it sideways, that 4x8 sheet of lattice. Timmy framed it up. We put Carolina jasmine on it and it was an evergreen and it completely covered it. It looked like this beautiful green hedgerow. And when it was in bloom and the wind blew, it was the most amazing smell
Yeah.
for forever. You could smell it down the road. It was just it was a beautiful fence. And then the other one we painted mirrors on it and all that stuff, the wood fence.
Yeah.
And that was always fun.
Yeah.
But we're just going with straight barb and electric fence, but we did enjoy and appreciate the boundaries that we had with that when we lived in the city. So I can't imagine this being any different. And if people come on our land after this, they're definitely trespassing. There's no ifs, ands, or buts that they knew not to come in our land.
Well, it's going to take a lot for them to get through it, for one thing, and it's not just something you walk through. So you have pretty good intentions of going on somebody's land if they're found on your land.
Where's all the signs at? Do you still have them out in the shop? We bought just like a stack of
Yeah,
signs.
we got
Purple paint here in
all that.
Tennessee. Purple paint so many feet up and a purple X tells people not to trespass. That is a legal sign notification of no trespassing. So if anybody goes by that purple paint, they're not they know they've been warned. And then your regular no trespassing signs, and then we'll mark it. And actually I will feel so much better when all this is done, because even though we live in the middle of nowhere, there are nights that I'm very bothered by noises that I hear because we don't have the proper protection.
Well, yeah, I mean, just thank the Lord for the dogs, because they, they're my warning.
Well, we have guineas too, but them jokers, like Timmy hung a fake crow out there the other day because we got the crows eating our chicken eggs, driving me crazy, stealing my eggs. If they start paying for the food, they can take some eggs, but other than that, they got hands off. So we heard if you hang a fake dead crow out there, that the crows will stay away. So kind of like hanging a dead pirate outside of a city. So when pirates come, they know that that's what happens to criminals.
Mm.
Anyways, the guineas were freaking out all day long. And I'm like, they don't like that crow you got hanging out there, Timmy.
Well, they notice different things that aren't normal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
They'll let you know.
They actually have a brain in that little head of theirs. And it's
they're healthy fowl, I believe. Yeah. But no, it's just another measure of security, and I think that we need that more than anything else. Not more than anything else, but I just think it's very important in the days to come that we implement some forms of security in our homestead. And if you're not happy, if you're not comfortable with carrying guns, then you need to have some type of critter that's going to defend you, or fence that you can protect. Some measures before the people can get to you.
Yeah,
I think that's important. And again, our topic, good fences make good neighbors. That isn't just so that they don't intrude on your land and their animals intrude on your land, or they just walk on your land, but that's also to keep your stuff in so it doesn't go on their land. And Lyndon, a little bit, she was getting all upset about, everything. And I said, Lyndon, it's the law and we're in the wrong. And this is a good lesson for her. She was like, well, our dogs aren't hurting nobody. No, they're not. But it's the law. And they're going on someone else's land. And so we have to respect that. And we've tried. But now our efforts have gone, our efforts are futile. I mean, they just haven't worked. So we need to bump it up a notch. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say I did get just a little bit bent out of shape.
Good morning from LA.
When the gentleman told me that, my dogs were going on somebody else's land, and then, he started talking about hunting dogs. He said, well, it's
Hunting dogs
okay
can
for,
go.
he said, it's okay for hunting dogs to go on your land, but your dogs can't go on anybody else's land. I actually had to, I'm like, I had to process that really quick because,
Our dogs are hunting dogs.
yeah, and it's,
If you want to twist the law.
yeah.
But I'm not willing to ride. I'm not willing to die on that hill. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of hills that I'll die on, but that ain't one of them. So we're going to do our best and make our best effort. And that's all that can be asked of us. And that's because that's all we can do. You know, I mean, we can't do no more than that. But yeah, that's like I said, over the years that we've lived here, we've had a lot of cases where it was urgent to protect our land. And then something else came urgent and we
Mhm.
didn't do it and we didn't do it. Well, now we're doing it. So we went out immediately that day, spent like $500 on wire and post, and
And that's just the start.
that's just the start.
Yeah.
So if y'all don't see me active in the groups a lot, and that's what I miss the most is being really active in our groups because you glean so much information. It's because I'm working like crazy online and trying to create enough income to provide for all of these things. And I'm very blessed and fortunate that we have that opportunity to do what I do. It just takes time away from everything else that I enjoy, like hanging out with y'all. But anyhow, we got to get going.
All right.
It's my birthday Tuesday. I'm going to be 53. I kept thinking I was 53 all year, so this is a bonus year of 53.
I can't even remember
I
when I was
forgot.
53.
6 years ago.
Oh, we just moved here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I was 53 when we moved here.
Uh-huh.
I'm a dog.
Yeah. We started over in our 50s. And I don't want to do anything. I just want rest.
Sleep.
We are gonna meet with the family tomorrow and go out to eat. And
Mm.
if I feel better, maybe play some putt putt, and that's about it. I don't want no gifts. I don't need nothing.
Yeah, we'll start out with church and
Yeah, I don't want no cake. My butt don't need it. My stomach might want it. My head might want it, but my butt don't need it. And yeah, that's about it. So it'll be a good day if I could just not stress all day and spend some time with the family tomorrow. That's all I want. But anyways, y'all have a blessed day. Happy birthday. Thank you, dear. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I'm blessed. Stressed and blessed is what I always say. Or blessed and stressed.
it's like
I know. No, life is good. We're definitely got more blessings than we have stresses in life. And even though this was aggravating, we don't know how God's working, y'all. I mean, you can get upset. There's that one little saying about, where the person, I'm sure y'all read it. I'm going to muck it up. They're complaining to God, why they allowed them to be late for work, why they allow them to, spill coffee on their shirt, why they allow them to not find their keys and blah, blah, blah. And then finally goes, well, I made you late for work because there was a drunk driver on the road and they would have hit you had you gone on time. I did this. I had you spill your coffee because if you would have gotten in that elevator, there was somebody in there that was sick and would have gotten you sick. And it just went on and on, reasons that we don't see. And so I trust in the Lord and his plan is perfect. And I just know that this is going to be perfect no matter how much it stresses us.
yeah,
So
I know it's a struggle to try to bless your burdens, but I mean that's all the
count your blessings.
uh,
You said bless your burden,
well, I mean
birdies.
burdens in life we're supposed to praise God and
Yes.
in all things, whether
Mhm.
it's something
Praise and pray your
praise,
tribulation.
yeah,
Yeah.
all of it. So
Because it
I
grows
know
your faith.
it's hard sometimes, but
It is.
it could
It's
it could be something that changes your life. So
and this will definitely change your life in one way
they'll
or another. You'll be really good at climbing mountains.
they'll always be a blessing in the end. So
Well, y'all have a blessed day, and we'll see you next week. I'm trying to think of what we're doing next week. A little bit's going camping. Timmy will be on the fence, and I'll probably be working somehow. And it's Mother's Day next weekend. Hint, 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 hint. Don't forget that, y'all. Don't forget your mamas. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Take care.
thanks for watching.
Bye.